The Seagoville State Bank was crowded with people at the time of the attempted holdup. For many of them, it was payday, and they had come to take care of their banking business. The first person approached by Garner was one of the tellers, Mrs. Edith Griffin. She told me she noticed him in her line but didn't suspect anything until she saw his gun. Garner then made his way down the line of tellers, demanding their money. But as chance would have it, Dallas County Deputy Sheriff Bobby Baker and his wife were in the bank. And when Garner reached the last teller's cage, Baker was waiting.
Well, I pulled my badge and ID out and walked up to him and told him I was the sheriff's office for him to drop it. And he turned around and pointed the pistol at me. Well, I grabbed him with my left hand, his gun hand, and then I brought my right hand around, and that's when I shot him.
Do you think he was going to shoot you?
I'm reasonably sure of it. He had already told some people in here that he had planned on doing that. He was pretty shook up.
So your gun went off and hit him in the scuffle?
Yes, sir. That's just about it.
Garner was rushed to Parkland Hospital in serious condition. He was shot shortly after 5 o'clock, arrived at the hospital about 5:40, and was dead less than 2 hours later. Back at the bank, authorities barred the doors while they completed their investigation, allowing customers to conduct their banking only at the drive-in window, and a long line of cars quickly formed. But despite the inconvenience, the people could finish their business with the knowledge their bank had not lost any money. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Well, things like the lever on the voting machines next to my name in several instances, I don't know how many, have not worked. People being told they had to vote a straight Democrat ticket, judges going into the precinct places. The punch card ballot machine situation in Harris County, perhaps in Travis County, we've received lots of reports on those. Irregularities, non-functioning, unfamiliarity, creating long lines, and thus turning away many voters.
Grover said another $50,000 in his campaign would have made him governor, and that he asked for more money but could not get it. Although the senator says he got little support from the party leadership, he's not going to start a big fight with them. He's just going to push on with a new campaign.
I'm going to run again. As a matter of fact, I'm beginning immediately. I will, and after all, that's not very long away, and we've proven to a lot of people that we can win. A lot of people didn't believe it. Many people now are calling us saying, I wish I'd known that you could have made it. I would have supported you. I really didn't like him in the first place, but I just thought he was going to win.
What about all this material behind you here? Are you going to be able to use that in 1974?
Well, the buttons, you bet. We can use these. Some of the posters, yes, we can use those. They say the same. The story's the same. It's a short time off. The brochures, we don't have enough of those left to mount anything. I suppose we can use the bumper stickers, too.
Grover thanked those who worked hard for him and left for his farm near San Antonio for some peace and quiet with his family. This is Roger McDonald, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Miss Patricia Hurley is the daughter of the late Patrick J. Hurley. And speaking in Dallas to members of the John Birch Society, she says our China policy is in trouble. She told me in an interview this afternoon that she believes too many Americans have gullibly accepted our new China policy as being in the best interests of world peace.
I'm afraid I agree with what my father said almost a quarter of a century ago. And that is that if Mao Zedong takes over in Red China, well, it's now called Red China, that if Mao Zedong takes over in China, we should leave him strictly alone. And I am of the same opinion, even today.
Is that to say that that what we've learned through history should have no bearing on change for the future?
Well, that is to say, as Santa Anna said, those who do not know history are doomed to repeat it.
We're so seriously overloaded, they're now going back to the old jail, and you heard all the radio free for a defendant to appeal, and he can maybe be out on bond. The paper this week about the jailbreak and the new that here criminal case, and with the criminal work on cases with them, but have no vote.
What are the biggest problems that we have to try to overcome in our present system?
The main problem is cluttered dockets in criminal cases in primarily urban areas. It has been suggested, and there are statistics, of course, to prove this, that the one major cause in the rising urban crime rates are cluttered urban court dockets. People out on bail, pending disposition of their cases in court, people, innocent men sometimes languishing in jail because they can't get cases heard. These are the problems, or a few of the major problems in the area that have created the crisis that exists today.
Sit with them and write opinions, and we now have 14 courts of civil appeals, but their jurisdiction is limited to civil.
Meat packers throughout the state are subject to daily inspections by officials of the state health department. One inspector at Aston Meat Company in Fort Worth told me the state regulations are as rigid as the federal laws governing the health standards of meat plants. Meat packers in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and across the state say regulations are not enforced equally and that many of the inspectors are unrealistic. Some of the meat packers say they have been forced out of business as a result. The owner of this plant, J.D. Aston, appeared before a special hearing in Fort Worth today, held by the State House of Representatives Interim Committee on State Meat Inspection. Aston said the state regulations are not designed for the small businessman. Another operator, Bill Walden of Abilene, said the state inspection system is the main reason meat prices are up 10 to 20%. Others who testify said the state inspectors did not have enough training to do their job correctly. The committee chairman, Representative Don Adams of Jasper, and committee member Gib Lewis, state representative from Tarrant County, said they were not surprised at today's testimony. One of the complaints is that they're not trained enough. Do you feel they are?
I think in the beginning they were not. I think we're reaching a point where they're beginning to receive a proper amount of training, and they're going back for retraining periodically.
Based upon the testimony we've heard today, do you feel that some of the inspectors may be dictatorial, as has been charged?
I feel this is possibly true. I think you run into a personality clash here in the Tarrant County and Dallas County in this north central region.
The House Committee on Meat Inspection is to report to the legislature in January. Representative Lewis says there may be a move to expand the meat inspection system, along with improvements, to include supermarkets on a daily basis. The committee will hold 2 more hearings this month in East Texas and in the Valley. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
It's been a tough year for the Dallas Police Department. 2 policemen killed, 3 seriously wounded, and just recently, several officers accused of unjustifiably killing criminal suspects. As one disenchanted officer told me, Dallasites demonstrate when police kill suspects, but when officers die, the silent majority stay at home. Well, true or not, today Dallas policemen were praised for their work. The Goals for Dallas program commended Sergeant James Behringer for 17 years of cracking criminal cases, and the Traffic Safety Commission recognized the Fugitive Division for making over 400 arrests last year and recovering tons of stolen merchandise. Rookie of the Year went to 28-year-old James Redmond, who made a murder arrest and a heroin haul while still in police academy. Also, Dallas County Sheriff Deputy William Grenville was honored for wrapping up a fatal accident investigation in 3 days. But the top Distinguished Service Award went to Dallas Police Officer Leonard Farrow, shot while pursuing an armed robbery suspect last year. Although wounded, Farrow returned fire and captured the suspect alive. After he was awarded this morning, I asked Officer Farrow about the criticisms aimed at policemen who kill instead of wound fleeing suspects.
Unlike any other officer, we're not expert shots. I mean, not to the degree where we could say, I'm going to shoot this subject in the arm or shoot this subject in the leg. In a situation like that, you shoot to stop the man from shooting at you, and if you wound him and he stops, well, you've served the purpose. If the bullet happens to kill the man, well, like I said, you can't aim. I can't tell you what spot I would hit on the man or whether I'd hit him or not. I just try to stop him from shooting me.
Mrs. Terry, why are men not asked to pray with you?
Oh, men are asked to pray with us. We consider the man very definitely to be the spiritual and temporal leader of the home, and we are acting as an intercessor to God and a preserver of the moral character of the nation. And we consider ourselves to be the supportive member. The man is very definitely the head, and this is scriptural.
The buses will be just like the regional airport, something special. At least that's the word from Phil Wagner, area sales manager for General Motors. He told me these buses will feature a whole new concept in airport transportation. The idea, according to Wagner, is to provide the same kind of atmosphere on the ground with which the traveler is accustomed in the air. Wagner said this means the interior of each bus will be designed like the inside of an airplane. Wall-to-wall carpets, reclining seats, skylights, with everything color-coordinated. The buses will feature thermostatically controlled air conditioning, stereo music, and plenty of legroom, since they're designed for comfort and not for maximum capacity, 30 to 35 passengers rather than 40 or 50. The buses also are designed to get you there in a hurry at 75 miles per hour, which would put the regional airport less than 30 minutes from Dallas or Fort Worth. Local officials say these buses will help avoid the frustrations of other large airports, in which it sometimes takes the traveler almost as long to get downtown as it did to fly halfway across the country. Dallas and Fort Worth are thinking of purchasing 45 of the buses. The price tag will come to nearly $3.5 million, with the federal government picking up most of the cost. And it may be worth it. Authorities say at the beginning the buses should carry about 3,000 passengers a day, a figure which is expected to increase in conjunction with the future growth of the regional airport. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Helmet on. Go into that door there.
Come on around.
I don't know, because I left after I got the money for him. I asked him, I said, don't you have a tax? And I convinced him that I did.
Tell me.
It is on his back. Back behind me, yeah.
Slough off as politics as usual, or, well, that's the way it is in Texas. I think that's the thing to answer any questions that anyone has.
Senator, do you think you might have had a better one? Yes. Do you feel disappointed that this was not done?
I felt disappointed all the time.
Answer around town.
Really?
Yeah, so the hometown girl made good.
Yes.
In the Encino.
California.
Encino.
Mhm.
No, I've heard of Encino. I don't know how many
It's
times.
in the San Fernando Valley. Blondes.
Well, this girl's very active then.
She is the #1 model in New York, and she is.
Another aspect of the problem is that the cases are not where the judges are and the judges aren't where the cases are. And what the task force proposal proposes to do is to bring the two together. In other words, create a unified court system with judges of a particular court all having equal jurisdiction, able to sit where the need exists for a judge at that time.
We went about certifying it in the first place, and they didn't either. We had to go get a book.
They said, well, I just don't know of anything that'll work. And I said, well,
in my own building.
Recognition in the years they have with the Dallas Police Department. The Citizens Traffic Safety Commission. Reminds me from what knows what to speak. The same degree has worked well with better after it's on greater. Here today. We'd like to thank the business firms and all. Just a little bit about you. Deputy Randall is 36 years old.
Officer, with the recent police shootings, people have criticized policemen for
What a wonderful discovery it was for me to realize that the God who created. Without that, he said, we will suddenly disappear in the dust of an atomic explosion. You always tell us, another prayer comes to Dallas. It did mean that the late president was inspired when he did this.
More time on the ground than you do in the air. Well, the schedule is going to be a 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Most people, if you have a room air conditioner in your home, it's usually a one-time.
shops will decide where we're going to do it. Here's a good spot to do it if y'all will come back.
There, go on, wind up in the
And coming this direction the same way. Or the maximum speed. This particular vehicle will do about 75 miles an hour. The other. All right. That's what we're going to do. Get the shot. Okay. All right. I think along here that we could.
Ms. Harris, I noticed in looking at your list of resolutions, the integration of students and faculties. What about that particular resolution?
This resolution included 4 major parts. One of the more important ones is that we are committed to the achievement of integration through the use of procedures which respect the rights of the individual and which demand respect for law, order, and justice.
Now, when you say the word procedures, would procedures include the endorsement of busing?
Busing was not discussed on the floor of the House of Delegates last night.
Then that word was not entered into the resolution discussion?
No, it did not.
Directed court, managed court, rather than just a system of one court here and one court there doing what they can.
That's exactly right. The problem is that there are no such thing as business methodology in the courtroom today, and that's what we're trying to bring into being, an administrative procedure whereby facility and efficiency can be obtained.
Boy Scouts. He gets to know these legislators and has been in the legislature working hard.
Transactions with other people. Non-operational things like, all we really want you to do is get your full.
Good morning, Ms. Harris. You were